Welcome back, YouTube. We are back to Cine2Nerdle Battles, and I'm looking for fantasy wins against Pavlov 95, who is looking for romance. I don't mind being in Wes Craven, actually. Because a couple of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies count as fantasy. Only a couple. That's one of them. But that doesn't count. But New Nightmare counts. I mean, let's try part 5. No, I'm going to get us out of here. I'm going to... Red Eye is not a Wes Craven movie, apparently. We're going to... Scream 2? This is not one that Wes Craven directed. No, I remember 2. 2 was an interesting one. Vanilla Sky. How did we even get out of that? Escape. Great. And you already took my other Tom Cruise fantasy. Let's go to... Cocktail. And see if you know who else is in it. Gershon and Tilly. Any chance those count? No. It's weird what crosses over between fantasy and horror and what doesn't. Jim Carrey, I can certainly have one. The Mask. Is there another Jim Carrey fantasy movie? Potentially Liar Liar. We already came from there, apparently. The Bad Batch. Ah. I see you know your judo well. Let us go to the other one, the other Anna Lily Amirpour movie, Mona Lisa and the Blood Moon, which is a fantasy. I don't think there's another one. Kate Hudson, fantasy. Matthew Mahogany, fantasy. Oh, I don't have one. Let's go Lincoln Lawyer. And do you have more romance? Probably. I'm gonna risk it. 10 is a lot. Yeah. Electra. She'll have more too, but I'm not going to start blocking just yet. Well, that's marvelous. Who else is in this? Ooh. Let's go to Don't Worry, Darling. I am going to start blocking. The Rock, Race to which mountain? It's just a short cameo in Fighting with My Family, but he's in it. That's a good block. It's a good block. What's a Rock movie people don't know about? I'm going to go with San Andreas, with hopes that we get a Percy Jackson play off it. Also a good block. I'd like to stick with Patrick Wilson. I'd also like to stick with Zack Snyder. There are Jared Butler romances, but not too worried about that. Jessica Alba, her version of Fantastic Four counts as fantasy. And now we're feeling great. Annoyingly, I don't think the second one counts. It dips into sci-fi. But Ava Green gets us there with Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Good game. Very happy with that one. That's our third fantasy win. Keep them coming. This person is higher ranked. We'll see how we go. Ooh, I wouldn't mind hanging around in Jackie Chan for a bit too. Okay. That doesn't count, oddly. Let's just get mired in old Jackie and see what we can do. They are trying to get... they are trying to get to Arnold Schwarzenegger. And that's a problem. Because I'm pretty sure I have to play it. Around the World in 80 Days. That's the only way to block it. Because I'm pretty sure they're both in this movie. Kung Fu Panda 2 also doesn't count as fantasy, just marking that one down. We're always learning. I don't think... You know what? We just need to win this thing. Spiritual Kung Fu doesn't count. That's interesting. There's ghosts in this movie. Yeah, it's not a one-to-one matchup with the TMDB database, which is, I think, where they get their data. Nowhere near fantasy, but we take an easy win. And this would have been a really easy win for Barber 108 if I hadn't known that Arnie's in this one. He's not even in the cast list here, but I'm pretty sure he's further down the list. It's a huge cast. More. I know the Forbidden Kingdom counts for Jackie Chan. It might be one of the only ones that counts. I'm picking Batman, okay? And you're also after fantasy, but this is a person with, I think, 50 plus fantasy wins. So we're about to see how a real pro does it. Logan. This is the badge I won. I don't even need the gold version. No links, huh? Black Widow. Yep, okay. I will trade Puss in Boots. No, I will not. I will Maya us in Spain. I'd better brick that. That's why. Puss in Boots. And now we're going to try and burn that skip. Cast list might not help you much here. It's these two women in a hotel. The whole movie. And we're out of it. And now I don't need to know anything about the film, which is good, because I don't. Sly Stallone fantasy. Nothing obvious. Nothing obvious to me. Let's go with Rambo 4. Maybe we learn the slide tech here. Stop or my mum will shoot. Would appear there is no slide tech. Billy Crystal, does Monsters Inc. count? No. Here we brick because there's Pixar Fantasy. And John Goodman, the Flintstones count. That's interesting. We learned another trick. Banderas. Puss in Boots, the first one. We never went back. And we're going to block because Shrek counts too. Oh, but we can't get there from here anyway. Well, I'm all out of bricks. Eternals doesn't count, but the Green Knight does. Via Barry Keoghan. Last Airbender. Are there further Shyamalan fantasy movies? Old is vaguely fantastical. Nope. Of course. Of course. She gets us to Twilight, maybe just the first. She's in one of these movies. And now we would trade Twilight movies back and forth. We're back. And we are still floating around in fantasy, doing all right. Our opponent is up on us, for sure. Breaking Dawn Part 1. We never played the original. We can't use Taylor Lautner. Bradley Cooper, Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. And now we're ahead, but they have 2 blocks. Here's Tyrannosaur. And we cross our fingers. Okay. I think we use a tactical escape. And we use a tactical escape. And now they're out of ways to stop us. So if I know fantasy movie off this next play, we win. They have a time speed up. I need to be fast. Gosh. Sliding doors. We take those. Oh boy. Sorry about the interruption there. I'm just going to pause the video. I'll be back. Back to it after a surprise lunch break. And let's see if we can keep up the win streak, because this is going well. They're after Arnie. Final Destination by Ali Lata. The Go Commando people can sometimes just pull a surprise Arnie on you. I don't know him well enough to defend it, really. Do any of the Resident Evils count? No, but Monster Hunter does. Or should. If we win this, we're more likely to just trap them somewhere, because getting 8 fantasy movies while avoiding Arnie is maybe a tough ask. Mortal Kombat. Does Highlander count? We're going to find out. It does. Marvellous. That means we got about... Oh, we'd probably get another one from this. No? Okay. I'm happy to be in Thor. Is this a trap? In case Thor is a trap, I'm going to Lord of the Rings. Because all 3 of the other Thor movies count as fantasy. What have we got here? The old Last Action Hero trap, huh? Who is it? It's Ian McKellen. Okay. Who else is in this movie while we're at it? No one else I'm likely to play. John McTiernan, though. So I couldn't go to Predator or Die Hard either, but you wouldn't, would you? If you run into someone who knows Arnie, there's only so much you can do. Fantasy on fantasy. These are often fun because there's not a lot of blacking. Not a lot of blocking. What about Insidious? I don't mind trading fantasy for fantasy. That's fine. Okay. Aquaman. Sure. The Zack Snyder cut of Justice League and not the other one. Or, okay. Does Avatar count? I don't think it does. So we're going to Don't Breathe. Feel very foolish if Avatar counts. Avatar counts. That's worth knowing. And now they can't play the second one. That's funny. Because Stephen Lang is back. Wrath of the Titans, that's a good block. Gemma Arterton. Byzantium doesn't get us anywhere. And on a ledge with a block. I didn't want to show him Byzantium and then immediately play a different the second one doesn't count. Okay. Let's go to Iris. I have a Winslet play. Which version of A Christmas Carol is it? That one will do. That's not the version I wanted. I wanted the animated one with Nicolas Cage in it. Beowulf not counting is pretty brittle. What are you talking about? Oh, wrong Tomb Raider. And we'd better block. Because Cradle of Life counts as well. Jon Voight is not in the second Tomb Raider movie. I don't think. Let's find out. Jennifer Lopez. Let's go with Atlas. Not going to block. Maybe we learn a Jennifer Lopez fantasy movie here. Okay, fair enough. Obviously we get Shang-Chi. Via Simu. A lot of Marvel doesn't count. This one literally has a dragon in it, so that's fine. Okay. Ashes of Time. I might have called that a fantasy movie. As tears go by. Let's just see if you can get out of that. Maggie Cheung is in this movie. Sure enough. Forbidden Kingdom. Gives us another fantasy pip. And now I just need one. So we're feeling okay here. Okay. This gets us back to Tomb Raider. Thank you. I think there probably was a Lucy Liu play there as well. All right. So that's 3 fantasy wins today. I'm going to go at least one more. That's much more successful than we have been. I don't like that start for a horror player. everyone's in a horror movie. Sean Penn. Any Sean Penn movie. I do like to save this until the fantasy pips count. We've been blocked. Let's just dump you somewhere using the cinematographer. And that's one escape burned. It's just a little bit too obscure. Okay. Can I type my super ex-girlfriend? I did wonder if she was in that. What's some horrible Uma Thurman trap? Can I think of one? I don't think so. I'm going to play Antichrist so they can't. There are many other Willem Dafoe horror movies, and they do know one of them. They're now out of blocks, so that's fine. Which is horror? Nosferatu is horror. I want The Northman. Playing The Witch with a block, because Anya Taylor-Joy is in untold numbers of horror movies. Okay, and now we are playing Brickless. That counts as horror, huh? Maisie Williams is in this thing, but I don't get to play Game of Thrones. Josh Boone is the only escape I know from this movie. That is called The Fault in Our Stars. We are on the back foot here for sure. Always the reliable Spielberg fantasy. And if we stick with Spielberg, I think we can take BFG as well. There are Mark Rylance horror movies. Bones and all counts. Alright. Downton Abbey, she's not in it. What do you know about Detroit? Catherine Bigelow has too many horror movies. Last Jedi. That gets us to Doctor Strange, and we want to block because Scott Derrickson directed this, who did Sinister, and I want to say Deliver Us from Evil. And maybe even Sinister 2. And now we're both out of blocks. Well, I don't mind being in The Hobbit. Not one bit. Howard Shore gets them to Cronenberg. Oh, or Peter Jackson gets them to... The Frighteners. Jackson's dangerous. I'm glad we've used him up. He has more. He has at least 2 more horror movies. I mean, Return of the King is still available. Gonna have to get creative here. Elijah Wood. I think we're out of Lord of the Rings movies. I am going to escape there. There are other Ant Timpson horror movies. In this case, we're pretty much just using an escape as a block. Do you know a Kirsten Dunst horror movie? Or a Robin Williams? That's doable. And we escape. And if you land somewhere I can use, we win. Blindside, that's a good play. Sandra Bullock. Do I have a Sandra Bullock horror fantasy? I don't. Oh, am I going to time out? Skip. That thing with the controls drives me crazy. Alright, I'm going to do this live. What on earth is the Sandra Bullock horror movie? Fantasy movie. Lake House. I have a horrible feeling Lake House doesn't count. I'm sure I've tried that. Maybe Prince of Egypt. I don't think so. Why is it on here 3 times? Minions? Is Minions fantasy? No idea. Alright. I would love to know if Minions counts. That's a high ranking. Which Minions movie is it? There is a Minions movie where they go looking for a unicorn, and that certainly counts. Magic, Mike. There's Last Dance. Because that's the one that counts as a romance, and I want to burn it. Let's go with Bubble, see if you know anything about Bubble. There's so many Soderbergh romances. What am I doing? That's not one of them. Soderbergh Fantasy? I think he's in Waking Life. Yeah. Didn't direct it, but he's in it. And now I guess we have to block because this is before Sunrise adjacent. Linklater Fantasy. Don't think so. Oh, Scanner Darkly probably counts. More sci-fi, really. Can we get out of this back into Soderbergh? No. This is why we have skips. Because I want them to burn and escape. Marvelous. They've got 4 bricks. Why do they have 4 bricks? They might have that thing that gives you an extra move every... Apocalypse. Every 7 turns, I think it is. But no, it doesn't look like it. None of the other X-Men movies count as fantasy. Bradley Cooper, Dungeons and Dragons. I know he's in Into the Woods. I have to throw the brick at some point. Let's just do it now. Streep. No, there are definitely other Meryl Streep fantasy plays. And certainly romance plays. De Niro is in Stardust. I need a De Niro movie that they can't... Let's go to Cape Fear. Okay. Well, that is terrifying. I can keep, like... I can keep this going, but if they know classic cinema better than me, there's no point. Yeah, no, this is just... Do I have a D.W. Griffith fantasy movie? Not comfortably. I know the Griffiths, but I don't think anything there is going to count. What's his Superman movie called? Man of Steel. How many bricks do you have, man? Alex Wolff is in the new Jumanji movies. We would need a miracle to win from here. We know Kung Fu Panda doesn't count. Poltro, we know Sliding Doors counts, but that's not a winning play. Yeah. I just want to see the opponent's kit here. Box of chocolates. Random lifeline after every 7th round, and it absolutely smashed me with the blocks. And I'm going to try one more. Because that was a very frustrating round. They're after Francis McDormand. I don't want to go anywhere near the Coen brothers. Can't go to Almost Famous, can't go to North Country. So Theron is pretty much out. We'll see what we get. Rene Russo, Thor. That was one round early. That's a shame. We go into very old Lars von Trier. Okay. It's kind of very new Lars von Trier, or newish. Oh, I suppose Nosferatu is the play. I can't use Defoe again. What do I know about Gene Hackman? Is it this one? I watched the whole box set of neo-noir movies. Gene Hackman, The Conversation. Trouble with watching 18 similar movies back to back is you forget which one Gene Hackman was in. What is this? You can have that one back. Samuel Fuller. Do I have Straw Dogs? This is Peckinpah, right? No, we need to escape. Rank 24,000. Great. What was our other Tom Cruise fantasy movie? Vanilla Sky. This is not where we want to be. Okay. What do you know about Julia? Prince of Persia. I'll block the Frances McDormand movies where I see the links, but I don't know them as well as someone using her as a lifeline. We got Ruffalo, Fincher, Benjamin Button. Yes, please. Holly Hunter. We go to 13. Leave ourselves Twilight adjacent. Oh dear. I need to get out of the Cullens. She's got to be in a movie with Samuel L. Jackson, because everyone is in a movie with Samuel L. Jackson. If you know it, you can have it. It's not worth the brick. We go to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. If she's in one of the sequels, this was a very nice trap. Dennis Hopper. Out of the blue. What can you do? that was impressive. All right, but that will do me for today. I think we are back to... Well, how are we doing on the fantasy? 5. That's not bad. I'll keep working at that tomorrow.